Shabbat Shalom, Kol Halal, Yahweh Shemel Shabbat Hashem Akakwadash. Double honors to the elder apostles and elder bishops of GMS, including the elders that came before them that taught us the truth. Shabbat Shalom and salutations to all the brethren out pushing the word and truth and in sincerity, the hopeful elect tabernacle of David. Shabbat Shalom and salutations to all the Akwad listening and learning, being a pillar of rest. I'm the brother Yahshua. I'm back with the WW3 Daily update. Shabbat Shalom and salutations to all of you who made it. All right, so this just happened, or it's just coming out right now, 47 minutes ago, about an hour, 2 hours ago. Watch live. Apparently it happened last night, but we get things on the West Coast. We get it way later. 10 killed in private jet crash. Wagner boss Evgeny Prigozhin on passenger list. So the question is this guy dead? Did they unalive him? Right? Crazy. So this is the new news, right? Is this dealing with World War III? Damn right it is. All right. So now there's speculation that they offed him immediately after the little coup, or during the coup they put him down and then they covered it up, and now this is the cover story. He went down in a plane, whatever. All right, so the Spirit led me to this. 2nd Ezra 16 and 33. What's going on? The virgins shall mourn, having no bridegrooms. The women shall mourn, having no husbands. Their daughters shall mourn, having no helpers. In the wars, their bridegrooms. In the war shall their bridegrooms be destroyed, and their husbands shall perish of famine. Okay, well, is this the beginning? Right? Let's get this. The beginning. Right here. I'll start at 17. 2nd Ezra 16, 17. Woe is me, who will deliver me in those days? This is Ezra saying, damn. Looking at the vision saying, damn, how am I going to get through that? The beginning of sorrows and great mournings, the beginning of famine and great death, the beginning of wars. And the powers shall stand in fear. Who's the powers? Prigozhin was a power. He was on the main stage. He was on the world stage there for a minute. And now his ass is gone. Whether it was 2 months ago or last night. The beginning of evils. What shall I do when these evils shall come? All right. So, hey, the war is we're in the middle of it. All right. So let's get this. Slocky, bear with me. And we're just going to let a little bit of this play. This is The Dive with Jackson Hinkle, right? And the whole Prigozhin thing. I did a little research on it because it's so fresh. It's coming. I should have said unalived right there. So we're going to take a little look at Russia advances into eastern Kupiansk. All right, so let's see. Let's go to the top of that. See what this guy says.
75 days into this counteroffensive, nearing 80 days, and the Ukrainians still have not reached the first line of Russian defense fortification of Rupetnoye. So they're basically taking a huge L in the southern region of this counteroffensive. Okay, now let's take a look at the far more interesting northern sector of this war in the Kharkov region, because as you know, the Russians crossed the Oskol River. They're moving in Kharkov. They are capturing settlement after settlement, moving closer and closer to Kupiansk. Okay, we have big news today surrounding Kupiansk, all right? Kupiansk, for those of you who don't know, was the administrative city that the Russians used when they had control of the Kharkov region. So when they lost it in the Ukrainian counteroffensive that took place months ago, it was a big morale L for the Russians, okay? Now, the Russians have most control, not full control, but most control of the city, the settlement of Sinkovka. This is a city to the east of, it's on a ledge, it's higher elevation, it's to the east of Kupiansk, which is the main city that the Russians are going to be going after. We reported here yesterday that the Ukrainians had evacuated now over 100 settlements in the Kupiansk-Kharkov direction. So they're worried. They understand that the Russians are on the move and that they don't have the manpower to defend them and to stop them, okay? And we actually have pretty big news surrounding just how much they know they're screwed, okay? Not only have the Russians taken primarily most control of Zinkovka, in addition to that, they've actually been able to move to the western section of Zinkovka. So they're actually moving in on a full encirclement of the city, okay? There have been videos published which have been reported, I can't confirm, but have been reported as Russian troops driving directly through in a massive convoy through Zinkovka. There's not a lot of sound in these videos, so one can presume there's not a whole lot of fighting. It seems as though the Russians have pretty good control of this city. They are also in the process of storming the city of Petropavlovka.
Okay, so let's stop. This sounds, I mean, a brief synopsis of what's being said. Russia's whooping ass. Okay? Russia advances into eastern Kupiansk. So, yeah, that's the update. All right, we're going to end it right there because I got to learn how to keep my videos short for you Jakes. Right? Anyway, we hope that the electorate edified. We'll just end it right there. World War III is coming. It's not going to turn around. All right? They're killing their own. They're handling that business. You can be a traitor. Well, this guy marched on Moscow, marched on the Kremlin, had a convoy, pulled a mutiny. What are you supposed to do? What is the penalty? What's the penalty for traitorism? Right? He was a traitor. They probably put his ass down at that moment. Look at this. Oh, meet Kevin. I was watching this. Okay, let's take a look at this real quick.
The Russian government has actually almost always distanced themselves from ownership and the funding of the Wagner Group. And the reason for that is, again, the Wagner Group trying to do the dirty biddings of the Kremlin. And what's incredible about that is after the mutiny, Putin actually came out and took responsibility for the existence of the Wagner Group. So for decades, certainly in the last years here, declining the existence of the Wagner Group's bidding for the Kremlin turns around after the mutiny saying, yep, we fund them, and they had a change of heart. They still love us, so they're all going to go to Belarus. Right. Remember that the State Department actually about 2 or 3 days ago, and I find it very interesting timing, 2 or 3 days ago, the State Department actually urged oh my gosh, they knew it was going to happen. Oh my God, hold on a second. Belarus State Department, what's it called, the security level. They just raised it a few days ago. They just raised it to level 4, I believe. Yeah, here it is. Oh my gosh. You gotta be kidding me. 1 day ago, the State Department urges U.S. citizens to leave Belarus.
Yep.
Biden administration is urging U.S. citizens in Belarus to depart the country immediately and warned against travel there in a statement published Monday. The State Department is now encouraging citizens in Belarus to depart the country immediately, now characterizing the country in a level 4 risk, high security warning. Human rights abuses, political oppression, blah, blah, blah. How convenient that the day after, oh, wow. That's actually, now it makes you wonder, was the CIA involved, right? How convenient, I'm going to tweet this, how convenient that the day after the State Department raises its security level to the highest security warning, level 4, in Belarus, urging Americans to immediately leave Prigozhin is shot down.
Wow.
How convenient that the day after. How convenient. Let's rephrase this a little bit. How convenient. The day after the State Department raises the U.S. State Department raises its security level to the highest security warning, level 4 in Belarus, urging Americans to immediately leave. Prigozhin is shot down. And then we could add the little Wagner staff were supposedly relocating to Belarus.
He might be onto something.
Very interesting. That makes you really wonder how, come on, man. And I'm not a tinfoil hat kind of person, but I'll tell you, sometimes things are just very interesting. Because I was reading about this yesterday, and I'm like, why did they not raise the security threat level sooner on Belarus? And then all of a sudden, they raised the security threat level to level 4, urging everybody to get out of Belarus. And the very next day, the Wagner chief, Prigozhin, is shot down. Now, of course, then the question is, what kind of involvement would the U.S. have in this? I don't know that the U.S. needs to have an involvement in it. You know what this tells me, actually, is that, or more likely, that the U.S. knows exactly what's happening in Russia. That we have either, internal agents or leaks or some form of monitoring, wiretaps, email communication, whatever. I suspect the U.S. government and Biden probably knew yesterday that Russia was going to shoot this guy down.
Espionage.
So they raised the security threat level. And it's actually a way of the U.S. saying, we know what you guys are up to. That is a big middle finger, actually, to Russia.
All right, so this thing is going to unfold, and we're going to keep our eye on it, all right? So we'll go ahead and end it right there. I'll just let that play because this is hot off the presses. This is going down right now. This is live. Okay, so started streaming 32 minutes ago. So with that, we hope that the elector edified you, brothers and you few sisters. With that, we're going to say Shabbat Shalom.